And our military analyst Sean Bell joins us now for more on this. Sean, great to have you with us. So just tell us what the latest situation is in the Red Sea. Lord Cameron there is saying action will be taken.
Yeah, the Red Sea, although our headline banner talks about the Israeli-Hamas war, it's actually all directly linked, as we'll get on to. Ever since the ship, the Galaxy Leader, was hijacked by the Houthi rebels on the 19th of November, the Houthis have been attacking shipping using just onto the Red Sea, a range of missiles, small boats, and even on this occasion, obviously, hijacking the vessel. Now, it's worth looking at the bigger map here, because 15% of the global trade runs through the Red Sea, and, of course, the key point here is the Bab al-Mandab Straits here, which is only 20 kilometres wide, directly next to Yemen. And all these blobs just show the incidents that have happened since the 19th of November. And lots of colours. I'll draw your attention really to the physical damage. Only about a quarter of them have resulted in physical damage. But, of course, all of this means the insurance market gets very upset. And if the insurance market isn't happy, then the shipping can't flow. Now, over the last 10 days, over 1,200 merchant shipping vessels have passed through that without any attacks. That sounds like good news. The bad news is there were 2 anti-shipping missiles fired. They just didn't hit the ships. The alternative route is going the long route round past the Cape of Good Hope down to the south. That adds about 10 days to the shipping, and therefore adds time, adds cost, and adds disruption. And that's one of the reasons why they need to sort out this issue in the Red Sea.
Now, why do we think the Houthis are doing this now? As you said, it all relates to the fighting in Gaza.
Yeah, the key link here is, why the Houthis involved in any sort of conflict with Hamas. Well, Hamas are fighting the Israelis, Hezbollah up in the north fighting as well, and the Houthis. The common strand of all of these is Iran. Iran funds them, it provides weapons for them, it provides military training, and Ali Khamenei here, the supreme leader, has therefore got a vested interest. And now it's worth remembering here, Hamas is not a match militarily for the Israeli Defence Forces, so if nobody else was involved, they would gradually lose the conflict. So what he's trying to do is trying to escalate the whole thing and get America involved, the international community, to stop it. You'll remember the UN Security Council, the Americans vetoed that because that was due to stop the conflict. So what they're trying to do is put more pressure on America. Fortunately, the Iranian-supplied anti-shipping missiles aren't that effective, but worth remembering, merchant shipping has no protection at all. And that's why the 5 warships are currently in the Red Sea, providing that umbrella of capability under our Prosperity Guardian.
And how does that umbrella of sort of protection work? Are those ships shooting down these missiles and drones?
Well, 2 things really, one of which is, because it's over the sea, it's flat, so you get plenty of warning of this stuff coming in. The difficult thing is the ballistic missiles. They need expensive missiles to take them out because it's difficult. If you're looking at drones, they generally are pretty slow, and you can use something like a phalanx gun, which puts 50 rounds of ammunition into the air every second, literally a wall of lead, and takes them out. The difficulty is when the British ship shot down a drone, it had to use one of its rather expensive missiles. But the whole point of having a whole range of shipping in there is to try and provide safety for the merchant ships there.
And we've got Lord Cameron here because he said something is going to happen. What could the response look like to try and stop this?
Well, unfortunately, the umbrella they're currently providing doesn't stop the attacks. And bluntly, the US say we're at an inflection point now. The diplomacy doesn't seem to be working. UN Security Council said Houthis must stop. The Houthis aren't members of the United Nations. That's not going to work. The UK and the coalition of the willing, which Lord Cameron deferred to, put out a strongly worded statement about the Houthis. If they didn't stop, they'd reap the consequences. Again, I suspect words are not going to stop the Houthis doing the attack. Bluntly, the only option here is a military option. Either you take out the Houthis themselves, very unlikely that'll happen because they're already involved in a war with Saudi Arabia, or you actually target Iran, who are providing the missiles in the first place. Of course, that carries a grave risk of escalation. But the more this goes on, the warships can only do the defending bit. And unless you actually stop the attacks happening, then it'll be a global disruption to the trade routes. And that's what the US are really keen to avoid.
OK, Sean, always appreciate the analysis. Thank you very much.